Sometimes.
There we go.
Okay. Would you choose to have school uniforms if you knew that you could save money each year? My purpose today is to persuade you that school uniforms should be mandatory in schools K through 12. I have conducted research on this topic in order to provide you with accurate information. However, I am a mother of a 6th grader who does attend a school that requires you to have school uniforms. I can tell you firsthand it has made a difference in my child's academics. Whether you're a parent, an educator, or a public school student, are all associated by one common factor: our investment in the future of our students. Students of all ages are impressionable. As a result, the choices we make about school policies have a profound effect on their school experience. After today, I am confident that you will not only agree with my solution to this problem, but be willing to support the efforts to implement this solution. I will begin to discuss the problem, then talk about some of the causes and conclude with my solution. Now that we've gathered our ideas, let's start with the problem. Public school officials and parents misunderstand the uniform issue. The first example, according to a recent article in 2002, FirstAmendmentCenter.org, stated the opponents and parents disagree with uniforms because it suppresses their individuality and personal freedom. They argue that students become alienated and closed off from personal self-identification and expression of personalities. Many public schools endorsed the uniforms after President Clinton addressed the issue in 1996. Many school districts, for example, Long Beach Unified School District, reported seeing a reduction in disciplinary problems and violent reduction after mandatory school uniforms were being placed, while other states, just the opposite is true. There are many districts that have turned to dress codes and uniforms, while others contest that uniforms is merely a band-aid and does not improve anything. Now that we have discussed the problems, let's talk about the causes. There are 2 reasons why parents don't understand the uniform issue. The first major reason is they believe that uniforms violates the students' rights to freedom of expression. The 2014 article, School Uniforms, published on ProCons.org, highlighted this belief. The article discussed the 1995 case involving Bivens by Green versus Albuquerque Public Schools, where a student claims the school dress code violated his freedom of expression because it prohibited him from wearing saggy pants. He claimed that his choice of outfits were an element of hip-hop style favored by minorities and that it constituted a group identity, stating that such intentional identification clearly must involve freedom of expression. The second reason is the belief that uniforms do not improve attendance or academic performance. According to David Brunsman 2004 study, The School Uniform Movement, and what it tells us about American education, a symbolic crusade published on a digital commons in association with Virginia Tech uniforms that have been not effective in achieving the outcome that they were assumed to aid. However, in a 2014 survey conducted and published by the National Association of Elementary School Principals, 77% of its members reported improved attendance, academic performance after implementing mandatory uniform policies. In other words, despite the Brunsman's report, uniforms have a positive impact on attendance and academic performance. Now that we've established the cause, let's move on with reasonable solutions. The solution, which is to implement uniform policies in all public schools, offers 2 benefits. The first benefit is, according to the 2013 survey, from the National Association of Elementary School Principals on the annual basis, uniforms are 33% less expensive than regular school clothes. For example, a New York school reports that 5 shirts, 5 pants, 3 ties, and 1 pair of shoes cost $230, but street clothes from the same item cost about $300. For me personally, buying school uniforms for my son has saved me about $500 every year. I also wore school uniforms in school, which cost about $85 each compared to regular non-brand name clothes, which ran about over $100 per outfit. In other words, uniform costs less than regular clothes. Also, in many communities, there are stores that offer discounts on uniform items. A uniform can be worn until outgrown and either handed down to the next child or donated to secondhand stores that offer other families substantial amount of savings for the clothes. A second benefit is to improve academic performance. Studies have shown published from the NAESP that uniforms allow students to focus on their studies instead of the latest fashion trend, which has led to improved scores across the board. According to the NAESP, research shows that uniform improves attendance, which also leads to improved educational performance. In conclusion, despite the misunderstanding over school uniforms, they are beneficial for students and their parents and for school officials. So let's review what we've discussed today. First, we discussed how public officials and parents misunderstand the uniform issue and learned that they argue that uniform suppresses their individuality and personal freedom, and they become closed off from their personal self-identification. Secondly, there are 2 reasons why uniforms are being misunderstood. I believe that uniforms violates freedom of expression, and they do not improve attendance or academic performance. However, we also learn that neither belief is accurate. Finally, we discussed the solution, which is to implement uniform policies in all public schools. This offers 2 benefits, which are cost savings for families and improved academic performance. And after reviewing this material, it seems that implementing uniform policies has nothing but great advantages and benefits. Every research study that has ever been conducted will have different data, but coming from a parent whose child is required to wear uniforms has been nothing but a great experience and a money saver for my child, and is not worried about what he's wearing or what others are wearing. He's able to focus on his classes. I'm confident that uniforms can do the same for your child or student.